English turn. While the English menaced Louisiana from the east, the Spanish were encroaching from the west. The colony needed an envoy to deal with this threat, someone shrewd enough to turn the enemies into customers.
I think Saint Denis was an opportunist and an adventurer, someone who saw an opportunity to establish a small trading empire in an area of the colony in which close supervision was not possible.
Louis Juchereau de Saint Denis traveled up the Red River Valley with 22 soldiers and 10,000 pounds of trade goods. Saint Denis' official mission was to deter the threat from Spanish forces entrenched in Mexico. Of course, if he could manage to do a little business with them, under the table, so much the better.
He exerted tremendous influence along the frontier and was sort of a one-man army in maintaining the French presence on the western frontier.
By 1714, Saint Denis had established the first permanent European settlement in what is now the state of Louisiana. He named it after the Indians who had welcomed him there. And Natchitoches soon became a crucial outpost for defense and trade.
Louisiana's history is not just about the Mississippi River. There's that whole western side. And that's why the character of Saint Denis becomes so fascinating, is that he was able somehow to hear these Indian groups, to become allied with them, to include them as trading partners. He was the only one.
Saint Denis had a knack for turning problems into opportunities. When Spanish forces captured him, they tried to persuade Saint Denis to betray France. Instead, Saint Denis persuaded the Spanish commandant's granddaughter to marry him.
It's a very clever thing he did. He didn't marry just any Spaniard. It was a particular one. She was his passport. There's indication in later letters that he wrote that, in fact, he cared for her and that they'd had a good life together. So he spoke fondly of her. That doesn't mean that it wasn't a deliberate marriage to achieve a commercial advantage.
Saint Denis returned to Natchitoches with his bride, where he governed successfully for nearly 30 years.
I have never regretted this step because I have been very happy with her. We have 7 children. Even though we have no fortune, God has not forsaken us, and we live a quiet and peaceful life. Louis Juchereau de Saint Denis.
Life was not so peaceful for Bienville